Zoology, Cultural, Professor Ramakrishna More, ACS College, Akuradi, Pune, Maharashtra. And she's giving on the topic scientific and logical explanations of Indian culture. Dr. Ranjita Chatterjee.
Hello.
Yes, yes, ma'am.
Am I audible?
Yes, yes, ma'am. You're audible.
Okay. Can you see my PPT?
Yes, yes, ma'am. You can.
No, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you.
नहीं दिख रहा अभी।
दिखाना चाहिए।
जी मैं एक बार और इधर से देखती हूँ। मैं शेयर स्क्रीन करना चाहूँगी। First of all, a very good afternoon to all the delegates and participants present in this international web conference. Myself, I am Dr. Ranjita Chatterjee from Pune. Today, I'm going to present my topic, that is scientific and logical explanations of Indian customs and rituals.
अभी उनको होस्ट बनाया तो नहीं देख पाएंगे।
Can you now see my? Can you now see my PPT?
Yes, yes, ma'am. Your PPT is visible.
PPT दिख रही है? Okay. Okay, thank you. So I'd like to start my presentation right now. Well, I'd talk about certain customs and rituals of our Indian society and their scientific explanations regarding them. And then I would discuss about the distortions which have been brought about in many years from last decades. Fine. Now talking about Indian rituals and customs, we know that from years, the Indian sages and saints, they followed these customs which were later told to common people and they started following them, and they became gradually the heritage and customs of their families, which had then followed generation after generation. Now these rituals are not baseless or illogical. They are rather very scientific and logical. There is scientific reason behind each and every ritual. Some of the scientific reasons behind these rituals I'm going to discuss in my presentation. Let's first talk about blowing of conch shells or shankha. We know we start anything with a shankhanad. We generally blow the shankha or conch shells at the beginning of any auspicious ceremony or good work, as well as during dusk or evening as a custom when we go for Sandhyarati. Now, the sound of conch shell actually can destroy the bacteria present in the environment up to 200 meters, as it has been found in various experimentations. And I have taken this quote from one of the research paper. The sound of conch shell also kills the microorganisms which are present in our ear during dusk. In earlier days, people used to live in the villages where most insects and serpents, as well as certain wolves and foxes, they used to approach towards houses, which could be resisted by the sound of conch shells. By this sound of conch shells, they used to run away. Now talking about the next point, during worship. We know that in all religions, worship and praying, use flowers, incense sticks, sandals or chandans, and many other aromatic materials like aguru, itra, all these things. Actually, there is a scientific reason behind it. Worship is a type of meditation, rather, which must be done at dawn and dusk that is before sunrise and after sunset. There is a particular time for this. During meditation, as we know, that the nervous system must be soothed. So, to soothe the nervous system, aromatherapy is wonderful thing to do this act. So, the aromatic flowers, sandal paste, incense sticks, then duna, holy perfumes like akuru and itra are used for calming down the nerves and the nervous system, and it helps in any type of meditations. Well, next one is use of kusha. We know that during pujan and very many other rituals or in auspicious functions, whoever sits for the pujan, whoever goes for Shankalpa, they used to make a ring of kusha grass, which is also known as darbha or darbam grass, and they wear it in the right hand during the pujan. Actually, this kusha is having various medicinal use, which could be used to treat disorders of digestive, urinary system, cardiovascular system. It is antipyretic, it is used as sedative, it is actually antiviral, and is used in hypertension too. But apart from all these things, it has been found by experimentation that it has a tremendous property to absorb gamma radiations. During an experiment, Dr. Sadashiva Rao, he took this grass in the experiment room and he found that 60% of the gamma radiation was absorbed by these kusha grass. So our ancestors, they used this grass during solar eclipse to absorb the ultraviolet radiations, to minimize the impact of ultraviolet radiations. Now, it is also used for site cleaning act known as Shuddhi Punyavachanam in any function or ritual. People who are doing the pujan act, they used to sit on the mat made up of this kusha grass. Talking about fastings. Fasting is a tradition in almost in every religion. We know that in Hinduism, there is fasting during Shravana, Navaratra, Shivratri, and many other pujans, in Karva Chauth, in various different days, particularly and Purnima. Also, in case of Islam, we know that during Ramadan, that is a month of Ramadan, people keep roza from sunrise to sunset, and it's almost 8 hours of fasting. In Christianity, people keep fasting for 40 days prior to the Easter, that is known as Great Lent, and before Christmas also they fast from 1st to 25th of December. This fasting is having different scientific reasons behind it. In Baha'i faith also, people fast from sunrise to sunset for the month of Allah, that is 1st or 2nd March to 19th or 20th of March. Likewise, in Jainism, fasting has been instructed. Well, now in present scenario, there is a famous concept revived by Dr. Jagannath Dikshit, which is very famously known as Dikshit diet. And in Maharashtra, it's like everyone is trying this thing, which is about taking meal twice a day, and it is not anything new. He has revived it from our old concepts, from all our beliefs. Well, now fasting is actually the process of cleansing the entire digestive system, henceforth reducing the metabolic rate, controlling diabetes, cardiovascular health, and increases longevity. Due to less calorie intake, metabolism is decreased with lowered basal metabolic rate, the BMR, due to which there is less free radical these free radicals are actually the causes of degenerative changes and could be taken up by antioxidants if we take it separately in our diet. So there won't be any need of that if we can take low calorie diet or if we do daily regular fastings. Well, now talking about use of music during various rituals.
Because we have not enough time. Ma'am, please
Yeah,
conclude in 1
I'm
minute.
going fast. Okay. During rituals, customs, and holy functions, there are tradition of beating drums like dhol, tasha, dak, etc. In most religion, music is played and holy songs are sung like bhajan, kirtan, gurbani, ajan, chants, hymns during auspicious functions. It is having calming effect on our body, nerves, and also help in proper psychosomatic functioning. And sometimes due to loud percussion music, some hidden emotions may come out in an uncontrolled way so that the person may get emotion-led. During Havan or Yagna, which is mostly seen in Hindu customs, during puja and auspicious functions, the materials used in yagna are specified, which are having medicinal values and may generate carbon nanoparticle during yagna. These enter our body through nasal path, and the volatile oils, which are air-by yagna materials, can enter the central nervous system and may help in therapy for various nervous disorders. Well, lighting lamps or diyas during various functions. We know that in Indian custom, there is a custom of lighting lamps or diya during dusk or evening, that is Sandhya Aarti. And these have actually certain scientific reasons behind it. Actually, in earlier days, there were no street lights. So these diyas used to keep at the doorsteps where people could come to know that how far is the house during night. Well, regarding wearing chandan, tilak and kumkum, we know that we used to put kumkum in the middle of eyebrows in our forehead, which is actually the point where inside we are having pineal gland which secretes melatonin and serotonin, the hormones which regulates most of our memory, most of our synchronization, or body synchronization and biological clock. Well, there is importance of 108 number. We know in all religions there is importance of 108 number, that is 108. We are having the beads in holy strings like the prayer beads. We are having 108 Upanishads and having holy sites or pithas in 108 number. In astrology, actually, there is a value of it as 108 is 12 into 9, the 12 zodiac signs, that is the Rashis, and 9 planets, the Grahas, which we use for astrological calculate. In hello, please
Yes,
unmute
ma'am.
audios. Other noises are coming. Okay, in astronomy, 108 number is again having importance as the distance between sun and earth is about 108 times of sun's diameter, as well as the distance between moon and earth is also 108 times of moon's diameter. Now, regarding planting tulsi and neem trees, we know that tulsi is having a very special place in Indian tradition. In almost every house, there is tulsi plant, and there is a custom of watering the tulsi plant daily because it has tremendous medicinal value, and it is known as a herb for all reasons. It having a power of enhancing the immunity power of a body. It also have supply of antioxidants and many other nutrients. So every house should have tulsi, as in case of any emergency, it could be used therapeutically. Neem is also having very many medicinal properties due to which it has been planted in houses and streets. Well, now, due to time constraint, I have limited to 10 topics only. But I'd like to talk about the distortions of these traditions. As the traditions nowadays is fading, people don't believe in these traditions. They say all these things are baseless. They are not. There is no need of these traditions. Actually, these are illogical. But no, due to these are having scientific reasons. If we start searching about it, we'll simply find it's so vast. So some priests in earlier decades, due to certain selfishness or to according to convenience of people, has distorted these customs and rituals, and these modifications are not always good. As after day-long fasting, people used to get the heavy spicy food, which is not at all good for our digestive system. Well, timing of worship has changed from dawn to late of morning. People are worshipping at 11, 11:30 or 12 even, which is not at all the good time to meditate. Now, I'd like to conclude my talk here saying that we must follow family traditions which have been set by the ancestor from many years. But after knowing the scientific reason behind it, our ancestors were very much logical and much science oriented and having science knowledge, I believe. So after understanding properly the science behind these as well as the traditions, there is a big opportunity to study and to do research in fields by scientists to understand the actual logics behind every traditional heritage. Let us keep belief in these traditions. With proper understanding, we could make our future better. Thank you. I'd like to acknowledge let Sri N.N. Bhattacharya, let Sri Shamir Kumar Chakraborty, Amini Mukti Prananamai Mata, Sri Chakrabarty Bhattacharya, and Dr. A. Sheikh. And these are the certain references. Thank you.
Speaker, please give your less than 5 minutes because it is virtual contact interactive with network. Probably we have adjusted our data so that that gives enough time. We will definitely give enough time when again organize any conference or something else. Our